Have you ever had one of those days when everything seems to collapse at once? Your coffee spills, you miss the bus, someone's words slice a little deeper than they should, and by nightfall, you're staring at the ceiling wondering, what the hell is happening to me? We call it bad luck, chaos, coincidence. But what if it isn't? What if those moments, the spilled coffee, the missed bus, the cutting remark aren't random at all? What if something vast and unseen is trying to get your attention, and you've been too busy, too distracted, too numb to notice? No, I'm not talking about angels with megaphones or the universe sending smoke signals. It doesn't work like that. The universe speaks in patterns, in rhythm, in repetition, in the strange symmetry of your everyday life. It doesn't shout, it echoes. And when you start moving against its current, when your choices drift out of tune with what's true for you, it begins to intervene. At first, it's gentle, a quiet whisper, a small inconvenience, but ignore it long enough, and that whisper becomes a shove. Think of it this way. If you were walking toward the edge of a cliff, wouldn't you want someone to tap you on the shoulder before it's too late? That's what the universe does, constantly. It taps, it tugs, it warns over and over. The question isn't whether it's speaking. The question is, are you listening? Because it never starts with thunder. It starts with a ripple. And if you miss the ripple, well, the wave is coming. The first sign is resistance, that relentless, grinding kind of resistance that seeps into everything. You wake up with a knot in your chest, already tired before the day even begins. Your job feels like dragging a boulder through mud. Your relationship's tight, uncomfortable, like wearing shoes 2 sizes too small. Every step feels wrong. Every breath feels heavy. And yet, you keep pushing. You tell yourself it's just a rough patch, that this is what hard work looks like. But it's not. This isn't life testing your strength. It's life trying to get your attention. You're swimming against the current, forcing what doesn't want to be forced, clinging to a version of life that was never meant to fit you. The river is trying to carry you somewhere new, but you're gripping the rocks, insisting you know better. Here's the truth. Life is meant to have a rhythm, not constant comfort, but a kind of effortless momentum, a sense that, even when it's hard, it makes sense. When you're aligned with who you really are, things move, doors open, paths reveal themselves. It's like sailing with the wind instead of fighting the storm. But when you're out of alignment, pretending, forcing, chasing something that isn't yours, the universe intervenes. It throws obstacles in your way, not to break you, but to stop you, to make you pause long enough to ask the question that changes everything. Why does this feel so wrong? The second sign is repetition, the same story replaying in different costumes. You leave one job because of a toxic boss, only to find their twin waiting at the next office. You walk away from a relationship where you weren't heard, and somehow end up with another partner who never listens. You move across cities, hoping for a fresh start, only to realize you've brought the same ghosts with you, neatly folded in your suitcase. This isn't coincidence. This isn't bad luck. This is the universe holding up a mirror and whispering, look, this is the pattern. This is what you keep running from. It's not punishing you, it's teaching you. Because what you refuse to face in yourself, life will force you to face through others. And until you learn the lesson, the story will repeat again and again. Think of it like being stuck on the same level of a game. You can't advance until you master the skill that level is designed to teach. So the universe keeps resetting the stage. New names, new faces, same energy. But here's the magic. The moment you get it, the moment you shift something real inside yourself, the pattern dissolves. The difficult people vanish. The familiar chaos loses its grip. Not because the world changed, but because you did. And somewhere in that quiet victory, the universe smiles and says, good, now let's begin the next chapter. The third sign is exhaustion, not the satisfying kind that comes after a full day's work, but the kind that seeps into your bones. You wake up tired, you go to bed tired, even your dreams feel heavy. It's not your body that's worn out, it's your soul. This kind of fatigue is a message, a quiet but urgent alarm. Something is wrong. You're living in a way that drains you instead of sustains you. You're pouring energy into things that give nothing back. You're maintaining a version of yourself that was never meant to survive this long. Think about it. A tree doesn't burn out from being a tree. A bird doesn't collapse mid-flight from the effort of being a bird. They simply are. They exist in harmony with their nature, and that harmony fuels them. But we humans, we pretend, we perform, we twist ourselves into shapes that please others, even as our own truth withers. We lie to ourselves just to keep the illusion alive, and that kind of living is exhausting. So, when the universe sends you this deep, relentless fatigue, it's not punishing you, it's pleading with you. It's saying, stop, breathe, reconsider. You can't keep living like this, because exhaustion is not weakness. It's the soul's final attempt to get your attention before it breaks. The fourth sign is disconnection. That's slow, hollow drift away from everything that once made you feel alive. You're surrounded by people, yet you feel utterly alone. Conversations sound like echoes. Smiles don't reach the eyes. You go through the motions, talking, laughing, pretending, but deep down, something vital is missing. You're there, but not really there. This happens when you've strayed too far from your authentic self, when the mask you wear has been on so long. You've forgotten what your real face looks like, and people can feel it. They might not know why, but they sense that something about you isn't present. The warmth, the spark, the raw humanness, it's gone dim. And here's the truth. Real connection can't exist without truth. It demands vulnerability, honesty, and presence. When you hide, you disconnect not just from others, but from life itself. The universe is built on connection. The wave exists only because of the ocean. The leaf exists only because of the tree. And you exist because of this vast, intricate web of relationship that binds everything to everything else. When you feel isolated, when the world starts to look dull and far away, it's not because life has abandoned you. It's because you've abandoned yourself. You've started believing in the illusion of separateness, and that belief more than anything else is what makes you miserable. The fifth sign is chaos, the unraveling, the slow and merciless dismantling of everything you thought was stable. Your car breaks down. Plans collapse at the last minute. One thing after another goes wrong until you're left exhausted, clutching at pieces, wondering what invisible storm you've stepped into. Sometimes, yes, things just break. That's life in a physical world. But when the breakdown becomes a pattern, when it feels like the universe is systematically tearing down your carefully built structures, it's time to look deeper. This is clearing. The universe is removing what no longer serves you, dismantling what you've outgrown. No matter how much you've begged to stay, we cling to our routines, our identities, our plans, believing they define who we are. But sometimes the only way for something new to be born is for the old to collapse. A farmer doesn't plant fresh seeds in a field already crowded with last season's remains. First, there must be clearing. First, there must be space. So, when everything begins to fall apart, don't panic. Don't curse the chaos. It's your beginning in disguise. The sixth sign is physical symptoms. When the body starts to speak because you've ignored every other voice. It begins subtly, a tightness in your shoulders, a dull ache behind your eyes, a restless stomach that never quite settles. Then it grows louder. The headaches come more often. The tension won't release. The fatigue lingers no matter how much you sleep. Your body is not betraying you, it's warning you. It's infinitely wiser than the mind that tries to rationalize everything away. It knows when something is off long before your thoughts catch up. And when it can't get your attention through gentle nudges, it turns to pain. Pain isn't punishment, it's information. It's your body saying, something's wrong. We can't keep doing this. But we silence it with caffeine, with distraction, with denial until it has no choice left but to scream. Ignore the whispers, and the body will shout. Ignore the shouting, and one day you'll wake up unable to move, forced to listen. Because the truth is, your body has always been your most honest messenger, and when it speaks, it's never just talking about your body. The seventh sign is synchronicity, those strange, almost impossible coincidences that make you pause and whisper, "Wait, what are the odds?" You think of someone and seconds later, they call. You're searching for an answer, and a book literally falls off the shelf in front of you. You meet the right person at the exact moment you need them, as if the universe itself arranged the timing. These moments aren't random. They're breadcrumbs, little signals from reality, guiding you through the maze. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, evidence that beneath the apparent chaos of life, there's an underlying intelligence, a pattern woven through everything. And when synchronicities start multiplying, it usually means you're standing at a crossroads. The universe is nudging you gently, saying, "This way, look here, pay attention." Here's what most people misunderstand. These signs are not omens of doom. They're not punishment. They're course corrections. They're love letters written in the secret language of existence. The universe isn't trying to hurt you, it's trying to wake you up. Think of it like a fever. When your body detects something toxic, it raises its temperature. It's uncomfortable, even painful, but it's not the problem. It's the solution. It's your body's way of burning away what doesn't belong. The same is true for your life. These disruptions, these signs, these synchronicities, they're your spiritual immune system activating. Something false has entered your life, and the universe is working to clear it out. So the question becomes, what do you do when you start to notice? Because noticing is only the beginning. Most people see the signs and then immediately look away. We're experts at pretending we didn't see what we just saw. The real response isn't to rush into chaos or make wild, dramatic changes. It's not about quitting your job tomorrow or burning your bridges. In the name of spiritual freedom, external change without internal understanding just recreates the same pain in a new disguise. What's needed is stillness. Stop, be quiet, listen. The universe is speaking, but to hear it, you must lower the noise. Turn down the endless chatter, the opinions, the expectations, the constant hum of distraction. Sit with yourself, not with your phone, not with a book, just yourself. And in that silence, ask, what am I being shown? What truth am I refusing to see? What am I clinging to that's already trying to leave? The answers won't come in words. They'll arrive as a soft knowing, a quiet click inside you, the feeling of something unlocking. Your breath deepens, your shoulders drop, and for a moment, you feel peace. That's how truth announces itself. And then comes the hardest part, acting on what you know, making the change even when it terrifies you, even when no one understands, even when the path ahead is foggy and uncertain. Because most people stop right there. They hear the message, they understand the lesson, and then they go back to sleep, back to the old patterns, the familiar misery. But if you're brave enough to listen and act, the universe won't just whisper anymore. It will open the way. And so, the signs grow louder. The whispers become shouts. The gentle nudges turn into shoves. But it doesn't have to come to that. You can choose to listen before the storm. You can choose to notice the subtle tap on your shoulder before the universe knocks you flat on your back. Because here's the truth most people forget. The universe isn't something out there. It's not some distant, mysterious force pulling your strings. It's you. You are the universe, folded into human form. When it warns you, you are warning yourself. Your deeper intelligence, your connection to something vast, ancient, and wise is trying to pierce through the noise of your mind. The signs don't descend from the heavens. They rise from within, from that quiet knowing that has always recognized what's true and what's false, what gives life and what drains it away. So, the real question, are you willing to trust yourself, to trust that inner compass, even when it contradicts logic, comfort, or the plans your ego clings to? Are you brave enough to follow where life is leading you, even if it means letting go of what you thought you wanted? That's the great adventure of being human. walking into the unknown and trusting the path anyway, not forcing, not controlling, not insisting on how it should go, but allowing yourself to be surprised, redirected, transformed, because the signs have always been there. From the very beginning, life has been speaking to you, through people, through patterns, through pain, through wonder. The only question is, are you ready to listen now? Because when you do, when you start responding instead of resisting, everything shifts, not necessarily in the ways your mind expects, but in ways your soul has been aching for. You stop fighting the current. You stop exhausting yourself trying to control the tide. You let the river carry you, and somehow, you find that it knows exactly where to go. You move like water, flowing around obstacles instead of breaking against them, always adapting, always finding the path of least resistance. That's what the universe has been trying to tell you all along. Stop resisting. Stop pretending. Stop grasping at what's leaving. Just be right where you are, with what you have, as who you truly are, because this exact moment is where you're meant to be, learning what you need to learn, becoming who you're meant to become. The signs are not threats. They are invitations. The universe isn't warning you away from danger. It's calling you home. The only question left is, will you answer?